Some of the things we want to talk about here is we're at the Irrigation Research Foundation and in front of a cornfield. And how do you talk to farmers once they got the product down to show them that it's working? Well, one of the key things you want to have yourself is a shovel, and what we're going to do is we kind of went out and dug up some roots here to show you the differences so you can show the farmer what's going on. Basically, I like a sharpshooter like we talked about earlier so that you can get down and get after the roots. But I'm going to show you little things behind me here on what corn looks like by itself. Corn that has 15 ounces of a80 applied to the soil after it's planted, and corn that has Nutri-Plant SL on it, and then we can actually show you the differences of them. And that's a good indication of how your corn is going, because what's underground determines what's above ground. So the better the roots are underground, the more yield you're going to have above the ground. And that's a great way to show a farmer that you're out there trying to help them. What we have here is a corn root that's just a simple planted corn. And we have the roots that we see here, and this has nothing on the corn. And we can take a look at it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to walk down here to where we have a80 applied and show you the differences of them. So now we have the a80 corn, and we can put them together. And you can see the tremendous difference in the root mass and the depth. And they're just amazing on the differences of them. So that's one thing that you can show the farmer. The other thing is the corn itself. There's a control ear, there's an a80 ear. Much bigger, probably the same amount of kernels around. They both look like they're about 16 kernels around, but you have much more corn. You don't have a short ear. The other thing we're going to do is go take a look at the SL roots in comparison to the control. Now, if you'll notice that the root ball on the SL is just much more massive. There's just much more density to it, much more depth. And that's basically where you're getting all these roots down into the soil to uptake nutrient. If you'll notice the control, they have very few roots that are going down in comparison. And then what that does is it equates to yield. A Nutri-Plant SL corn ear and control ear. Again, roughly 16 kernels around, but look at the length of the kernel, length of the ear. Very good ways to show the farmer that he's going to get a better yield, obviously. Of course, one of the things they're going to look at is at the end of the year, what they pick. And that's where you really have to be on top of it with these guys. They're busy, they may not think about it when they're going through, and you might want to be there with them when they do this so that you can actually make sure they take into account their yield and where they put the product and where they get in so they can see the difference. One of the things that I wanted to recommend is these are great tools to have with you. After you get done digging up the corn roots, you might want to just cut them off so you have the roots in your hand and the ears. And you can take these around with you to show other people the differences as you come into new customers or new potential clients. These are great visual aids in using a consultant approach to it where they're actually showing things that they can actually have come out. And that's an easy way to have them. I suggest that you take some care where you might put them into a box, because as they get hard, they'll become brittle, but you can pull them out and show them differences and put little labels on them if you want to. But even if you're going to show turf or anything like that, you can use the corn as a visual aid, because you can show them that this is a grass and look at the difference when you use the products as opposed to not using them.